So a while back, even before we had purchased a houseboat, my my boat neighbor in the marina had offered me his Westerbeek 8.5 genset. He had spent a lot of money trying to make it run with some backyard mechanics who didn't know what they were doing, and he got mad and gave up on it. Bought a Honda generator and sat it on his back deck. So we got this thing for free. It didn't run. He had said that it was out of time, or he had said his mechanic said it had jump timing. Something was wrong inside the engine. So I messed with it, and sure enough, the number one cylinder, top dead center compression stroke, the rotor was way off, not even close to having a spark at the right time. So I thought, well, maybe it did jump time. So I broke the engine down, took it all apart, and there was absolutely nothing wrong with the inside of the engine. It was clean. There was no broken chain. So the issue had to be in the distributor. Now the distributor sticks directly onto the end of the camshaft, and it's an offset key. So it can only go one way. I mean, mechanically, physically, it can't turn. And the rotor physically clips onto the distributor one way. So I removed the bolt that holds the distributor down, rotated it about 90 degrees past where the slot would have allowed me if the bolt would have been in there, lined it up where I thought the rotor should be, and the dang thing started up. Very strange. Out that one of the so-called mechanics that had worked on this motor had taken the distributor apart, removed the bolt that holds the shaft that holds the rotor, turned it 90 degrees until it clicked again, put it all back together. I don't know what they were thinking, but we turned that around and the engine runs now. And with a few more little odds and ends we did, including changing the little overspeed circuit board, which was probably the problem from the get-go, that we're now running good. Many months and countless man-hours later, we're going in the boat with it. The plywood fuel tank platform sits on the stringer halfway, and then on those other three legs halfway. Okay, the generator fuel tank is installed and somewhat strapped down. I know they expand when you put fuel in them, so I'm going to wait a little while. I put 5 gallons in it. It's hooked up to the generator with a temporary fuel filter. I don't have the right one yet. I just turned the battery on, and I'm going to try to start it. And if it starts, I'll turn it off real quick, and I'll rig up something so we can have cooling water. And then I'm going to run it and figure out which one of these I need to hook up my high voltage to. So it's a big deal here. Let's see if it'll start. So I turn the switch on, electric fuel pump, fill the line with fuel. So it should start. Still having issues with the overspeed switch needing resetting. Alright, the old generator started up, but it didn't have any water, so I turned it off real quick. So now I've got the through hull suction in a bucket of water with the hose running, and we'll try it again. Terrible squealing sound. I don't know what that is. Bit the water just like it should. Making a mess. So today I wired up the high voltage from the generator heading up toward the front cabin. Just a single circuit. We've got both breakers tied together, so it's one single circuit, one hot wire, one neutral wire. I just kernied them together and put them in this box. I need to get a cover for it, and then they run up front
from the blue box to the front is original, I think. Well, original from when we bought the boat. And I ran a separate ground, and I grounded it to the case. So I'm not sure about this. This makes my 120 ground tied to my battery 12 volt ground. So I don't know if that's good or not. So if anybody knows, let me know. But it's done. I can close everything up back here. And I have, man, not too much left in the engine room to take care of. Kind of a generator recap. The generator is in the boat installed. It's sitting on these two pieces of oak that run from big stringer to big stringer. They are clipped on with some fiberglass clips, and in addition they're sitting on that cleat, and they sit on the middle stringer with a little spacer, and it's all real strong. We put a new through hull for it and a filter raw water strainer. The small wires come in, the control wires come in from the remote panel into here. This is where all the 12 volt stuff's made up. The 120 volt stuff comes into this panel and goes back up to the front of the boat. Use the original exhaust hose, the original muffler. We had to put a new through hull to get the exhaust out the side of the boat. It's all good. This is the remote start panel that came with the generator, although it is not original to the generator. It doesn't match the drawings, but we got it to work. And right above it is the control panel for the blowers. Since there's no inboard engines anymore, the only time we'll need the blowers is when we start the generator. So I put the control switch right there above the generator. Alright, with the addition of the fuel filter permanently installed and the coolant recovery tank permanently installed and the plastic guard, which the guy just gave me, installed, the generator's done. No more videos on the generator. Unless, of course, it doesn't run when we get there.